The Toronto Raptors take down the Wizards 109-105 off the back of a fantastic career-high night for Scottie Barnes with 27 points. So in today's video, we address how he busted out of his slump and put up this insane stat line. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, this is Amateur Sports, the channel where you get Raptors related content 4 times a week. So if you like what you see from today's video, then make sure you are subscribed to the channel to keep up to date with all that great content coming your way very soon. And you can help us on our road to 8,000 subscribers. We're like less than 20 subs away from hitting the milestone. But today in our video, we want to talk about Scottie Barnes because he absolutely exploded last night. An insane first half and a good third quarter helped to get him up to 27 points, a career high for the very young player halfway through his first NBA season. I really thought he was about to drop a 30 bomb, but the production definitely dropped in the fourth quarter, which was surprising. We are going to address why that happened. We are also going to address how he managed to just beat up on the Wizards, especially on the interior, because recently Scottie Barnes, I don't think it's any secret, has been in a little bit of a slump, and I think his play time has suffered slightly as a result. In the Dallas Mavericks game just a few nights ago, really didn't get that much play time, but a lot of that was down to some foul trouble. But Nick Nurse is typically one to use players through foul trouble, so it was still a little bit surprising to see him not get as many minutes. But with the foul trouble, you can understand that. But even in some other games, even the game yesterday, Scottie Barnes got removed from the game just 2 minutes in, and it has been kind of a theme since we've been a little bit more healthier. Scottie Barnes coming out of the game fairly quickly, maybe getting a bit more time with the bench unit. But I would say in the last week or two, we don't really have a bench unit. We're running like 7 players in the team at most, like 7 players consistently at most, sometimes just 6 players. So to see Scottie Barnes get removed, it may have been a little bit shocking for the player himself. And in the last couple of weeks, his production has dropped. His production has dropped. His shooting percentages have dropped. His points per game have dropped. And it has put him third in the rookie ladder when he's usually a mainstay at the top of the NBA's rookie ladder. But yesterday, wipe all of that away with a phenomenal performance. And I touched on Scottie Barnes in a video earlier in the week where I said, there's nothing to worry about this Scottie Barnes slump. It is a rookie, 20 years old, just entering a little rookie slump. And he's doing a lot of the right things still. It's just the scoring isn't quite coming to him. Scottie Barnes is so good that even when he's not scoring, he doesn't have the production offensively when it comes to points, there are still so many ways that he still remains effective on the court, whether that be his playmaking, whether that be, as ESPN alluded to him, as the screener. I mean, I think he's so beyond that, but his elusiveness, the way he can play in the pick and roll is great, and the defense has always been really good for Scottie Barnes. But Nick Nurse has, with this slump, taken away some of his minutes, and it's a cutthroat organization, the Raptors. If you're not helping out the team, then you're not going to play. There's no free minutes handed out by Nick Nurse, and Malachi Flynn, and especially his father, Eric Flynn, are going to learn that. And players like Scottie Barnes, even the 4th overall pick, the rookie sensation, they're going to learn that. But what did Scottie Barnes do? He came out after 2 minutes. Did he just sulk about it on the bench, or did he come back in the game and show why he's not getting taken off like that again? Because he was immense, especially in the first half when he came back on the court. The Raptors with so many different forward weapons, they can put out an entire lineup of forwards. And I think a really good lineup is 4 forwards on with Fred VanVleet to kind of be that facilitator. And when you have those 4 forwards on the court, sometimes even 5 forwards, you get mismatches on defense because there's like no other team in the NBA who's playing with 4 or 5 forwards on the court at the same time. Naturally, mismatches are going to happen. And the big mismatch in yesterday's game was Scottie Barnes getting defended by Corey Kispert. Now, I really feel like we don't abuse these bad matchups enough. And I think it is typically Scottie Barnes who finds the mismatch because you got to worry about Pascal Siakam a lot. You got to worry about other players a lot. But the way Scottie Barnes has been playing, he's just been missing those shots in the paint on the inside, those little hooks, those floaters that he had been hitting a lot more consistently earlier on in the season. Well, he started to hit them pretty early, and the Raptors recognized Corey Kispert was not defending Scottie Barnes. So I liked that they didn't get bored of just using that because they used it a lot. They went to it almost every single play, and Scottie Barnes was just beating up on Kispert down in the paint. At one point, he was 8 for 12 shooting. I think that was at about halftime when he had that stat line with 17 points. Like on the inside, back down, was patient, used the right post moves, was smart, knew how to get to the bucket, and was finishing with ease. And, it was nice to see that little change. Recently, he's had a lot of these opportunities, just not quite finishing as much. But there are going to be mismatches. And when Scottie Barnes is producing on offense like this, Pascal Siakam producing on offense like he was yesterday, it wasn't, an elite night, but it was a very good night. And some big shots were made from Pascal Siakam. He attracts attention. Fred VanVleet is attracting attention. OG Anunoby gets attention from the defense. So if Scottie Barnes is going to get the mismatch and you can abuse that mismatch in the paint, then great things are going to happen like it did in the game. After a really rough first quarter from the Raptors, we were down by 13. We dominated the second and third quarter. Things slipped in the fourth quarter. And I was wondering why we didn't go to Barnes as much. I think that they learned their lesson, the Wizards, and not giving them that mismatches, but I think we can isolate the mismatch a little bit more. And we didn't do that until one of the last plays of the game. It was when the Raptors were up by 3 in the dying seconds, and we finally go to Scottie Barnes. He misses a tough shot, but OG Anunoby cleans up the mess on the rebound and put us up by 5, which ultimately sealed the fate of the game. That made it 107-102. And the Raptors obviously go on to win by that 4-point margin. So, based on what we saw from Scottie Barnes in the game, is Dak just going to continue game by game? It was a career high. Unlikely that he's going to produce a career high Sunday against the Portland Trail Blazers, but it was a promising, very promising step back in the right direction and a real confidence boost for a player who had been in a little bit of a slump. But I really love the resolve and the character that he has, get taken off after just 2 minutes in the game and have that really rough night against the Mavericks where he was getting into foul trouble. And I think it was really, really good for him to just bounce back and just show it on the court. No talk, none of that, nothing against the coach. Just get back on the floor and do your thing. And in the press conference after the game, he was asked about getting taken off. And, he just said a pretty good answer. He said Coach Nurse saw something he didn't like on the floor, I guess, but came back in and he did his thing. 27 points in the game. If we had gone to him in the fourth quarter where he didn't have any points in the fourth, he could have gotten to 30 points. We didn't. And our offense kind of struggled. Our offense did kind of struggle in that fourth quarter. I thought that we didn't really have a go-to move. So I thought, okay, really, Scottie Barnes could have been that go-to guy in the fourth quarter. But when big shots were needed, we got them, especially from Pascal Siakam. There was a big 3 made late by Fred VanVleet. And this Raptors team, again, there's a lot of talent on this team. I worry about the amount of minutes going out to the players right now. We're running basically a 6-man with one other player getting a few minutes on the side, Utah and Champagny combined for, I think, 8 minutes in the game yesterday. We're running a really tight bench. Oh, Chua as well, making it 7-man when Gary Trent Jr. is back in the team. Tight 7-man rotation for the Raptors. So these guys get tired. And I noticed that a lot against the Mavs. I think I noticed it in the fourth quarter against the Wizards as well, Fred VanVleet shorting a lot of his jump shots. But regardless, let's enjoy this win. We had a rough 4 losses in 5 games, despite playing pretty well in 4 out of those 5 games. We played well against Phoenix. Obviously, bad game against Detroit. Played well against Milwaukee. Played well against Miami. Played well against Dallas. 4 out of those 5 games we played well, but we lost 4 of those games. And it seemed like in this one, after being up by 16 in the fourth, they were just going to let the Wizards get back to the game with the crowd on them, with the momentum. They made it 102-102 after it was 93-77 early in the fourth quarter. I thought the game was lost at that point. The crowd was behind the momentum, but the Raptors had the resolve. These are the games, the tough games, the close ones you got to win. We lost by 5 to Miami, by 4 to Dallas, by 4 to Phoenix. If you want to make the playoffs, you got to find a way to win these little close games, these close margins. You got to find a way to get your team over the line. The Raptors had it in this one, but they were in that position, especially as a result of the great play from Scottie Barnes, busting out of the slump. Let's hope for some consistency over this week. Let's get another win against Portland. That's a winnable game tomorrow, Sunday. Hopefully another great game by Scottie Barnes in that one. So what did you make of Scottie Barnes' performance? What did you like from it? What did you not like? And what do you think the Raptors will do tomorrow against the Blazers? Are you feeling a win? I certainly am. But make sure, if you enjoyed the video, you do give a like on the video. Help us reach some new viewers. And if you really enjoyed the video and you're new, then make sure you're subscribed to the channel. We do Raptors-based videos 4 times a week at least. help us on our road to 8,000 subscribers. We're less than 20 away. You specifically can help us get to that mark. And keep it locked with Amateur Sports. I'll see you again next time for another video.